there's all these kind of rumors still going on. I mean, are they going to trade? Are they going to sign Harden and trade Lil? Are they going to keep Maxey's, or what are going to happen? I think a lot's going to happen. If it's me, I keep Maxey and look somewhere else to find fill in the pieces.
Greetings and salutations, and welcome to the Odd Coaches Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Keith Adams, and with me today, all week long, is our cavalcade of stars, Captain for Life, Will Cotton. How are you, sir?
Feeling great.
And my favorite team leader, Mike King. Mike, how are you doing, sir? Always good to see you.
Doing well. Good to see you, too.
All right. So on today's Wind Up Wednesday edition, we're going to discuss the entire NBA as we review free agency. We'll do the Eastern Conference in segment 1. We'll do the Western Conference in segment 2, as well as our WNBA news and notes in segment 3. A lot of all-star talk with them. But let's get started. So fans, what we're going to do is similar to our NFL show yesterday. We're just going to go back and forth with teams sharing our thoughts. I got my notes on the screen. Guys got their thoughts. So let's start with Mike. Boston Celtics, sir. What are you thinking? We've had a draft. We've got free agency. How are we feeling about the Celtics, man?
I mean, they're always good. It's going to come down to coaching, right? That was the thing this year. So they got the pieces. Can the coach put it together? But they're obviously always a threat.
They got the pieces. All right, Will. Philadelphia 76ers. What are you thinking about Philly after the dust has kind of settled? What are we thinking about Philly?
Oh, well, there's all these kind of rumors still going on. I mean, are they going to trade? Are they going to sign Harden and trade Lil? Are they going to keep Maxey's, or what are going to happen? I think a lot's going to happen. If it's me, I keep Maxey and look somewhere else to find fill in the pieces. Embiid is going to keep them there as a cornerstone, but they're going to need other pieces. They don't necessarily need a superstar, but the other guys who can supplement the other skill sets, defending on the hitting threes, being tough, things like that. They'll be a good team. I think they'll be in the top 3 East. I think it should be top 3.
Okay. Mike, yes, it worked out again that way. The New York Knickerbockers. What do you think about the New York Knicks moves and shaking? Welcome to Villanova North.
I mean, I feel like the Knicks are kind of in the same situation they've been in for decades. Except for that run of terrible, but they're not good enough to be a real threat, but they're good enough to not get the pieces they need to be better. So they're going to be good. But in the NBA, you need, unless you find a second round pick who becomes a triple-double machine, a lead player, which happens once every however many decades, you need to have a top 5 pick.
Man, they got Dante DiVincenzo. They've got Jalen Brunson. They got Josh Hart. They all went to college together. There's your big 3. They're going to play 65 to 70 games.
And they're going to win.
They're going to be top 6, man. They got to be top 6. And then we'll see what happens with that.
They're going to be top 6, and then they're not going to be a real threat to win the thing. And they're not going to get the draft pick they need to be a real threat to win the thing.
They still got Julius. They got fired.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about Julius. Okay.
Julius fired up Randall.
All right. So, Will, you got the Brooklyn Nets. What do you think about the Nets?
They're going to be sneaky good. I think they'll probably make in the play-in, but they'll be a solid team all year. I mean, it's really interested that they signed Cam Johnson to $100 million. I guess they want that stability. I think the kid's pretty good.
Jacque Vaughn can coach. Boston, I had problems with their coach. Kristaps is going to help them. They got talent. Good luck. Brooklyn has a coach, and it's just trying to get some quiet talent around him. So
and Cam Johnson is really good. He's actually a really solid player. Can shoot the clip very well from 3, and he's tough. And we saw in the playoffs last year that he can get a bucket. So I hope he kind of continues to excel his skill set. And I think they'll make in the play-in at least for sure.
All right. So Mike, Toronto signed Dennis Schroeder to a 2-year deal. So they've got a point guard to replace their point guard. What are you thinking about the moves that the Raptors Is that an upgrade from Fred VanVleet, or what do you
I don't
think?
think that's an upgrade, but I like the draft pick, Grady Dick.
Okay.
He was someone who, if the Thunder took, I would have been fine with. And it would be a great jersey. Plus, I think it's a name that you're not allowed to. I think if you try and do that on the website, they wouldn't let you. So I guess they'd have to let you get the jersey. So that'll be interesting. It might be a very popular, even if he's terrible, might be a very popular NBA jersey.
Okay. Only my social
Toronto.
studies colleague would come up with that. But, Will, Milwaukee, what are you thinking about the Bucks?
It's kind of surprised that they brought back both Brook Lopez and Chris Milton. To me, it's kind of getting kind of stagnant now. I mean, they have to do something to shook them up. I mean, I know
They did. They got a new
the
coach.
Yeah, they got a new coach, but coach can't play. So I guess they're gonna go on. I guess it's their last hurrah, kind of with this three, and think we can do something with Drew. But I don't know. It's just you know what it is, Coach. That what I do like stability. And that's what they like, and they'll be able to kind of move forward and do.
Who did get the coaching job in Milwaukee? I forgot already.
Who's the coach?
I don't have 0.5 here. I forgot who they hired. So, all right, Mike, Cleveland. Now, Cleveland signed Max Strus. I don't know if you got that with the
yes.
Got a 4-year deal worth $63 million. And you also, I believe they kept Karis LeVert. So what are you thinking about the Cavs, man? They had a good season, but then they got smoked in the playoffs, and they made some changes. But what are you thinking?
I mean, it's a good starting lineup. Good backcourt. That can take you far. But yeah, I don't know if they have the pieces they're going to need to take that next step. I think what they did is kind of what you're going to get. Maybe win a playoff, maybe win a round, and then get obliterated by a better team. But they're a solid team, though. Be good.
I think they'll be 5 or 6, and see what happens. Okay, Will, the Chicago Bulls. Oh God, I don't know what they're doing, but they did sign Javon Carter to a 3-year deal, and Kobe White is scheduled to return. What are you thinking about the Bulls?
They're still a mess. I mean, they don't know what they want to do.
Do you even like Zach LaVine? I'm not mad at him, but I don't just see what other people are seeing in this guy.
He doesn't bring it every night. I mean, some nights he'll bring it and he's like 30 and people are like, yeah. And then he comes the next game and he's like 15, 17. Sometimes he doesn't even play. So the inconsistency is where everyone kind of has the issue with. But, the kid can play when he actually wants to play. And he just doesn't seem emotionally not connected to the team. That's why I feel for him.
All right, Mike, Indiana. Tyrese Halliburton is getting the bag, as we like to say on the show. 5-year extension worth up to $260 million. And they're getting Obi Toppin. Are we worried about the Pacers next year? Mike, talk to me. Get us excited about the Pacers.
They're terrible. I didn't love the draft pick, but we'll see. Halliburton, 20-10. That's good. But if you give him the money, is that a team that's going to be a real threat?
They got Obi Toppin and Bruce Brown from Denver. Is that a playoff team, Mike?
No.
Okay. Okay. Well, we're going to Detroit now. The Washington Wizards are trading Monty Morris to Detroit for a 2nd-round pick. And they got Cade Cunningham and Jaden Ivory. What are you thinking about it, man?
They got to be excited.
Ready to make the moves?
They got to be excited, man. Jamani Williams, that guy goes everywhere he goes. People loves playing with him, and the teams always get better. So I'm excited for him, man. I'm excited. Detroit's been down so long, and they kind of get a ton of broken toys from other people. James Wiseman, so it'd be good to see these kind of get excited
Wiseman
again. Yeah, so I think they at least they'll compete. And they'll be excited to watch. I don't know if that'll translate to wins because, effort doesn't really win everything. But I think it'll be a good team to watch, and it'll be fun. And that'll be good to have those fans.
Okay. Mike, the Atlanta Hawks are making some moves. They traded with Houston for Usman Garuba, and Tata Washington is coming to the Hawks. Oh, man, we've got lottery picks. Well, not lottery picks. We got 1st-round picks from the 2020 one NBA draft coming to the Hawks. We got Mike Brey as an assistant coach. We got Quinn Snyder on the bench. Is it time to get ready for Atlanta to do the thing?
They were 41-41. That sounds about right. I don't know how much better they got. I don't know how much worse
Quinn
they got.
Snyder's coaching there now, man.
We'll see. You look at the depth chart, just not.
Okay.
And they traded John Collins for Utah.
Yeah.
That's one less, really decent guy for I think he's average.
Ty Washington. All right.
Not a good lineup.
Okay. We're going to move on.
Must be his name that's not strong enough hitting me. He's like, Ta. I'm like, I just.
Miami Heat. So is that you, Will? You done messed me up.
Yep.
There.
No, yeah, that's me. The Heat, man. I mean, we'll see. They're waiting on Dame. They're all in. I think if they can get Dame, that puts them in a great position to come back to the finals. Unfortunately, they lost a lot of really good talent, Strus and Martin. So it's tough. But Bam, Butler, and Dame, man, and somehow if they can keep Hero, I doubt. But so we'll see. But yeah, I think it'll be excited, just like Cavalcade of Stars.
And speaking of stars, Mike, you got the Wizards. Kyle Kuzma, Jordan Poole, Tyrus Jones, Danilo Gallinari. What are we thinking about with the Zards, buddy?
Didn't they also draft? I think they drafted who I wanted the Thunder to get. The
Bulaka something.
Yeah, the French teammate. Yeah, that's who I wanted. I like the pick because I'm at the point now where if I'm in that range of the draft, just give me someone from whatever the best player overseas is.
Yeah.
It's a lottery pick that seems to hit a lot more often, or a lottery ticket. I kind of like what they did. I don't know if they're going to be good, but at least I could look at what they're trying to do and see a plan.
So you can see a plan. Okay. Okay. I'm going to take it at that. The Orlando Magic, Will, what are you thinking? They got the Wagner brothers. They got both Mo and Franz. They've got Paolo and is a kid from DC. Fultz, is he still there? Markel Fultz?
Oh no, sorry, I sneezed. I'm sorry about that. It'll be another farm team. Magic don't know what they're doing. Nah. The guys that you named, I'm like, nah.
I'm throwing out stuff. I got my extra notes.
Nah, we're trying. They're gonna be a farm team for somebody.
All right, Mike. Finally, Charlotte Hornets. They gave LaMelo Ball the bag again. A 5-year deal worth up to $260. Charlotte's ready to make the move or not, sir?
I just didn't like the. You have a pick number 2. I don't want that much baggage. That's my problem with the team. It's just you get a pick that when you get a number 2 pick, it's valuable. I don't want any but what I don't like any of that. And
all right, so you don't like the Brandon Miller pick, but he's talented. You saw that kid can play.
He's talented.
Put him in the backcourt with LaMelo Ball.
100%, he's talented.
Just noise. Okay.
I just can't get past that.
Okay. All right, fans, when we get back, we'll do the Western Conference in segment 2. We'll be right back on the Odd Coaches.
The reviews are in for Dr. Keith Adams' book, Finding the Balance, My Personal Journey to Academic and Athletic Success. College professor and student-athlete academic expert Dr. Lisa Rubin said, "There is nothing out there like this book, so I do hope people will pay attention and give it a read." Former George Mason standout Fowler Campbell said, "Consider this book an opportunity to work directly with Dr. Adams, just like I did. I assure you that there will be something you can take away that will be useful to you throughout your personal journey." Ryan Waite, a recent college graduate who is a software engineer, said, "I like how the book is based on research, which makes it good for general students as well as student athletes." The book serves as both a memoir to Dr. Adams' 30-year academic and athletic career, as well as an instructional guide to assist student athletes, parents, coaches, teachers, and administrators navigate through the challenges of finding a better balance between academic and athletic success. The book includes over 15 personal stories and anecdotes from Dr. Adams, along with numerous former players and colleagues from a variety of sports and endeavors. You can order your copy at www.ckasaveproject.org. From the main page, simply click CKA Save Project Services and order the Find the Balance book. For more information, contact Dr. Keith Adams by email at cka@ckasaveproject.org.
Welcome back to the Odd Coaches Podcast. In segment 2, we jump to the Western Conference. Let's start with Will. Denver Nuggets. They lost some pieces. What are you thinking about them post-draft and the start of free agency?
It'll be tough. Obviously, you always have the MVP, but it always kind of that second championship is always tough. It's harder than the first one. I don't know if they're going to win it. I don't know if even Jokic is going to have the energy to do it. He did so much last year. It's kind of replicate that. It's like, man, to do it twice. I mean, now we're talking about, now we're moving into a different version of, are you good as Kareem? Are you good as Hakeem? Are you good as Jordan? Those kind of names are coming out. Bird, So it'd be excited to see what he can do.
He got his ring, man.
Yeah, he's solid.
Pressure's off.
Yep. MPJ is still there. They still got Murray. And I think a big loss for them. They lost Jeff Green. I think
they lost Jeff Green.
That is going to cost them a little bit, but I think they'll be at least in the conference finals at least.
Okay, Mike, Minnesota, and I don't know if you got this on your list, Mike, but they signed Shake Milton to a 2-year, $10 million deal. So, what do you think about the Minnesota Timberwolves?
They're paying $60 million for Rudy and Conley, and they get 20 points out of that $60 million. But besides that, there's a lot of good pieces.
Okay, so bums.
I mean,
is that the polite way of saying bum city? Okay, I'm not mad at you. All right, Will, I am going to let Mike do this one. The Oklahoma City Thunder. They have signed the EuroLeague guard Vasily Milicic, one of Europe's best players. They also have Chet coming back. What do you think? Because Mike is an OKC fan.
I mean, I love what they did. I love the draft pick from Kentucky. Give me Kentucky point guards. Kind of like, don't give me Ohio State quarterbacks. Give me Kentucky point guards.
We had John Wall.
Give me all of them. But they clearly have a plan. And everyone can handle the ball. They can go 8 or 9 potentially that can do that. They had some good draft picks. One of them that really hit last year, and that was without Chet, who got hurt. So if he lives up to the hype, then last year's draft gave you 2 potential really, really good players for cheap to go with. They have enough draft capital things that if the year does go well, they could make moves. They're in a really good place. I think they're a playoff team, and if they overachieve, they do have the option of going for it, trying to be a little. But I don't think they will because they're.
And Chet's playing summer league, guys, so you'll get a chance to see him a little bit. Will, you're going to go 2 in a row on our list. The Utah Jazz, and all I have to say is Danny Ainge. He just finds a way. He learned from Red, and he's been robbing people for years. What do you think about Utah?
They're going to be excited. They always have young pieces. They added John Collins. Is still a young guy. I think they're going to add him a little bit more roles and give him a little responsibility to kind of, use his abilities and kind of hopefully do more things like that. They're not there yet. I think they should be playing at least for make it to the play-in. I think that'll be a good, a good win for them. That'll be a good, okay, we won that. We had a good season because we made the playoffs in the play-in, but it's a good team to build in. And if you can get anyone, I don't know how you're going to do it, but if you can get somebody to come to Utah and stay and play well,
they got a nice soul food restaurant that they told me about.
Yeah, I mean that's enough. That's not enough to get me out there. Okay. That's not enough but they'll be a good team.
And you've been waiting all week for this. Portland Trailblazers. The floor is yours, my friend.
Dame Lil gets so much credit, but he just screwed his whole organization that he's like, I love so much. The dude, why didn't you tell people that you wanted to leave 2 years ago? You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, you haven't really won enough anyway to say, oh, I'm just a piece away. I'm a piece away here. Dude, you said you were a piece away with Draymond Green. If he's the catalyst that's going to get you over the hump. Dude, obviously you've handcuffed your team and now you're asking them to trade you and do whatever they can to trade you. And people are like, yeah, well, it's finally time. Dame's so real. He's a real person. He stayed. Da-da-da. He didn't stay. He didn't stay. He just handcuffed his team and handcuffed his organization. And now he's being, oh, well, I guess I can leave to win. Man, get out of here, man. Like, get out of here. It's such a farce. I respect guys like KD and LeBron who just leave immediately and they're like, I'm gone, whatever. Or Harden. Just be real. Just be real. Don't be like, oh, well, I'm real, so I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna hold on. I'm gonna hang out. No, that's terrible because now the people who are only going to feel it are we've invested in Jeremy Grant. You know, we drafted this kid that we thought was going to play alongside you, and now you don't want to play. And we gave you $90 million for 2 years, and all of a sudden you could just keep it real and be like, hey man, I don't want to be here. So it's, to me, man, it's such BS, man. I Portland, you'll be so better off moving forward trading them. I don't care what you get, but your team can finally be unhandcuffed and you can go get better and get out of here. And best of luck for you, Dame, and I hope you get a championship. That's all I'll say about both those.
All right. I know Will had that at him, so I'll let that go. All right, Mike, Sacramento, one of my new favorite teams. They sneakily signed Sabonis to a renegotiated contract that saved them some money. They have Mike Brown, who actually knows how to coach. They also signed Sasha Venoskov to a 3-year, $20 million deal. They re-signed Harrison Barnes. Sacramento was like the 3rd seed, and they got that little old school playoff experience, and now they're kind of just sitting there. So, Mike, what are you thinking about the Kings, man?
I mean, I love the Kings. First, for Maryland purposes, Herter's, he was great. He was having like a insane shooting year, 3-point shooting. I think he made himself a lot of money on his next contract this year. But you also have the pieces you need. You got a Kentucky point guard and you can't, doesn't matter how good the coach is, you can't coach speed. He's got all of it. And Sabonis. And I mean, you look down the rosters, a lot of good pieces, and there's a lot of young guys who maybe take a step up. So that's, I think I mean, you have your, what everyone thinks is going to be your top 2. So they might be locked into 3, but I think, like you said, they got that. Sometimes you need to take a loss to realize, to be angry all summer and come back hungrier. I think that'll be them. I think they'll be a scary team.
All right. Will, the Phoenix Sun, they got your boy Bill. They got Booker. They got Durant. They got Ayton. They just signed Chamizi Metu to a 1-year deal. They got Damian Lee. Say Darian. That's funny on my end. They got Josh Okogie. What's going on with Phoenix? Because everybody's excited about it.
Expectations are just going up. The issue has never been with all those players. It's never been the skill set. It's always been the extra stuff. You know, Durant always being injured or maybe talking on social media. Bradley Beal, same thing, being hurt, having COVID constantly. I don't know where he's hanging out. You know, and even if he really plays every game, you know, that he wants to. Devin Booker, you know, every now and again he misses 2 to 3 weeks just for a hamstring. You know, kind of like, you know, bruises and things like that. I don't know if mentally they're tough enough to win a championship. Ayton is a mental midget. He was complaining about, I'm like, dude, you had KD, CP, who was making you a superstar, Devin Booker, and you were complaining about your role. I'm like, dude, like,
he didn't like Monty Williams. It happens.
It's hard. Hey, sometimes people don't like greatness. You know, I mean, you think Tom and Bill get along all the time? No, you know what I'm saying? You know, they argue. But I just don't think that those three, especially when Kevin Durant mentions, he's like, man, I'm cool with just playing basketball for a job for my life. I'm like, to me, that doesn't mean you don't want to win. To me, that doesn't. I mean, don't get me wrong, he doesn't want to win, but he doesn't have the itch, the thing that I don't think none of them have it. And I just don't think, I think it'll look good on TV. I think during the season, it'll look good. If they're all healthy, that's their best chance. But man, if any of them gets hurt, man, that mental aspect of them just kicks them out. I think they're a second round out, in my opinion.
Wow. Okay. All right. Mike, Clippers. Your boy Russ is coming back on a 2-year, $7.8 million deal. So they got playoff P. Luckily, franchise is not here because he'll tell me you got to win something to get a nickname. You got the claw, Kawhi Leonard back. Tell me what you're thinking about the Clippers, man.
So, I mean, I'm a Westbrook guy, so
yes, you
throw
are.
that out there. But if you look at his stats for the 21 games he was with the Clippers, he was good. Like he had his best field goal percentage in his career in the 21 games by like 3%. He had his best 3-point shooting in his career in those 21 games by about, I think it was 2 or 3%, maybe more. Like he was 36% threes, which is way above. So, I mean, you could argue that was like on the fountain of youth when he got there, and he kept them in those games, and that was when everyone thought Phoenix was going to win the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
It was 4-1, but they were all close, and the Clippers had nobody, and Westbrook was keeping them in it by himself. So it's a health thing. If they can be healthy, they could be a sneaky out.
Big if.
Yeah, huge if.
All right, Lakers will. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Golden State will. Looking forward to your thoughts on Draymond Green signing a 4-year, $100 million contract, and they got rid of Jordan Poole, which you said to me on the side. That boy's got to go because you can't be taking hits like that and think it's going to be all right. Talk to you about Golden State.
They're not ready yet to hit the reset. They're not ready to go into the future. They're ready to kind of win what they got. Steph, Clay, Dre. They're trying to bring on CP3. I don't know why. He don't play in the playoffs no way. He ain't never there. So, I mean, they're good, really good regular season. But they're just not ready yet. But the thing is, people don't know. I mean, not people do know, is Bob Myers obviously left the organization, and now Mike Dunleavy Jr. I mean, that's a good place to start. That's a good play for Mike Dunleavy to say, okay, let me figure out where I'm at, give myself 2 years, compete, and then figure where I'm going to go moving forward. So I can understand why you would kind of keep that core together, as opposed to like, Bob Myers, if he was still there, may have got rid of him. Maybe say, okay, I'm ready to move forward. But this is a safe kind of plan for Mike Dunleavy Jr. in terms of moving forward, keeping the fans happy, keep the team competing, but it's not necessarily the best, but it's a long-term kind of play for him, I think.
All right, Mike, we're going to do the Lakers, and then fans are going to introduce our sneaky correspondent that just snuck in here. But Mike, what are you thinking about the Lakers? D'Angelo Russell's coming back, 2-year deal worth $37 million. They also got Gabe Vincent, Taurean Prince. They got Cam Reddish, baby. The Lakers got Cam Reddish and Jackson Hayes. Whoa, you've got AD. You got LeBron at 417 years old. Tell me, is this the time for the Lakers, Mike? Talk to me.
What do you mean by the time? Because if you mean winning, I don't think so.
Isn't that what the name of the show is?
It's playoffs, they'll compete, they'll win a round or two. Yeah, it's the time for that. But it's the time to draft every future LeBron James kid, and he'll keep staying there. So if they want to keep selling tickets, so it's the Lakers, though, so they don't need to worry about that. But yeah, okay. They'll be good, and they'll lose to a better team.
Top 4? What about you think Lakers top 4, Mike?
I think 4. Yeah, 4 or 5.
Okay, 4 or 5. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the OCP's favorite administrator has snuck on. Gotta love Central Time Zone. Robert Abney first. How are you, Rob?
I'm well, man. Time zones are hard.
That's okay. We are No Budget Productions for a reason, and we are talking about our thoughts headed from the draft to free agency, and you landed on the Memphis Grizzlies, and I'm glad you are because first of all, they signed Derrick Rose to a 2-year deal, so they got an adult in the room. They got Marcus Smart. They got an adult in the room, okay? And they've got their issues with John Morant. They got rid of Dylan Brooks. What are you thinking about Memphis going into the offseason, sir? The floor is yours.
Well, having an adult in the room is a good thing for them because I'm a fan of the athleticism and how they play, but you can't be running your mouth when you haven't done anything. I mean, bottom line, you have to do something before you can do that, and they had figured that out. We could talk about John Morant a lot, but he's going to be out for 25 games and they've got to figure that out. And as long as they don't fall completely apart, I think they're going to be in it when it comes down to the playoffs. I can see them top 4.
They were playing well without him last year. Yes, sir.
Depending on how those first 25 games go, I could see them being a top 4 seed. Definitely.
All right, so I need to stay with Robert because I need my administrator to help me through this. The New Orleans Pelicans, not a lot of moves in terms of free agency. They picked Jordan Hawkins, who's local to us. I thought that was a good pick. But Robert, how are you dealing with the distraction of Zion? How are you dealing with that? How do you think New Orleans is going to do moving forward? Because our annual bet has to do with how many games Zion's playing, and I keep losing it every year. So what are you thinking, sir?
It's really interesting to me, and Zion obviously is not the first guy in the history of the NBA who has come in who's been so big and strong and talented that he's injury prone. I mean, dude hurts himself getting out of bed in the morning. And
and then everything in New Orleans is made at toupee.
Yeah. And I mean, and it's not conducive. He gets, if he's not paying attention, he gets heavy. You get heavy, you're more susceptible to getting hurt. I mean, I would say, oh, well, you should try and trade him. Well, what are you going to get? Because his contract is not commensurate with the value that he's given people.
They win when he plays, Robert. They win when he plays.
Okay, but if you only play once every 5 games, how helpful is that really? They got a lot to figure out, and he's immensely talented, but he's also immense, and that's the problem.
Okay. All right. Mike, I want you to take Dallas for me because I want Will to get Houston. Mike, they got a free agent center, Dwight Powell, to a 3-year deal to return to the Mavericks. They've reshaped their front court. What are you thinking, man? And they had a decent draft. What do you think about the Mavericks?
I mean, you look at the depth chart, and outside of the big 2, there's not a lot of starters who can score. So you got a lot of pressure. Now you got 2 great players, but there's a lot of pressure on them, and we're seeing.
But Kyrie's coming back, Mike.
Yeah, he's one
and
of those.
Luka.
Yeah, it's all them. And when you watch like the teams that go deep, yeah, they have those 2 great players. But then other guys step up, and who's going to be the other guy on Dallas or the other guys to step up when it matters?
So nothing. It's
nothing.
Will they be top 4?
No.
No top 4.
I think they're trying to sneak in.
Oh wow, they're play-in team for you?
I think they're 7, 8.
Oh,
I think they're closer to top 4 in the draft than top 4 in the West.
I don't think top 4 in the draft.
Okay. Will, I'm giving you the floor with Houston. They have made some great moves. I am all like locked into following Houston. They got Fred VanVleet. They got Jeff Green. I actually watched a little bit of that game, Will, on a side note with KJ, and he was quite impressed with Mr. Campbell. But anyway, what are you thinking about the Houston Rockets?
You got to be excited if you're in Houston. I mean, they're making all the right plays. A lot of people may look at them crazy, but they got Ime Udoka. I mean, he's a great coach. I mean, forget, his personal kind of conduct. I get it. But he didn't do anything illegal. So, I mean, people can kind of get past that. They're going to be, and the thing that people didn't do that they're not talking about, did not bring back James Harden. Thank you so much for not doing that. You are so dedicated to the future for not doing that. I think fans were just happy to move forward and say, okay, we don't have to worry about James. Now we can build. I think there'll be a playing team, maybe even 5-6.
I think they might be 5-6, Will.
Yeah.
They got Jalen Green, they got Kevin Porter Jr. Amen Thompson's been playing with some decent talent.
Yeah.
They got a coach.
They got some
Ime can coach.
Yep. And they got length. They're like 6'7", 6'8", 6'11", 7 feet. Like they're long and they got athletic guys, So, and they got a great, obviously everyone who goes to team to Boban, Marjanovic. Yeah. They love that guy. He's a great glue guy. They love him in the locker room. I think I'll be excited for Houston, man. The dark days are long, and the strip clubs are dead.
I'm not touching that one.
Get back to basketball and have being known for that. So I'm excited for Houston.
And one more side note for Will: he didn't like the sweater either. Okay.
No, did not.
Robert, take us out with the San Antonio Spurs. Wemby is all the rage down there. You're in Texas. Talk to me about the Spurs. Can they make the playoffs next year?
What a coincidence that you had me talk about Wemby, because I was actually on the Riverwalk during that press conference.
Jiminy,
They shut down the whole Riverwalk. There's like this little amphitheater where they did it on the Riverwalk. And they shut it down, and it was. I mean, there were 500 nervous Spurs employees trying to make this thing happen perfectly, which is pretty funny when it's 100 degrees and 90% humidity. And the kid's 19 years old. He doesn't care. He does not care. This is for everybody else, not him. Can they make the playoffs? No, they got way too much to do. And, Wemby's going to have nights where he's, 20, 20, and 10, and he's going to have nights where he just gets absolutely abused. And then it's because he's 19 years old. He's a kid.
Yes. And this is how we feel in education about 19-year-olds. I don't care if they're 19. I don't care if they're 20. I don't care if they're 21. You don't know what you're going to get. So
no. But I mean, this is, that's kind of how they started the first time with David Robinson and Tim Duncan and all those guys. That long term, they're going to be fine. Next year could be a little rough.
LeBron lived up to all the hype, and they were 35-47, and that was with him exceeding everyone's expectations.
That's a social studies teacher, fans. Okay, so with that, we're going to take a quick break. Come back. Get our WNBA fix on, talk about the All-Star game, talk about some moves, and Las Vegas is crazy, man. Anyway, we'll be right back on the Coaches Podcast.
The high school and college academic and athletic landscape is changing. The growing number of college transfers, as well as student athletes being able to profit off the use of their name, image, and likeness, has given student athletes the freedom and power to make life-changing decisions. That is why it is important for student athletes to be properly informed throughout the decision-making process. The difference between success and failure is often measured not by yards, but by inches, and even the most successful coaches and players use outside independent consultants to help improve their decision-making, which improves their results. That is what the CKA Save Project would like to do for student athletes across the country, improve their academic and athletic results. Our academic and athletic consulting services assist student athletes with the college decision-making process. The CKA team of former high school and college coaches can provide student athletes an independent assessment of their academic and athletic skills to assist student athletes in their college decision-making process. Let the CKA team evaluate your academic and athletic ability to assist you in finding the right fit for your academic and athletic career. For more information, visit us on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org or schedule a free virtual consultation with Dr. Keith Adams by email at cka@ckasaveproject.org.
All right, we got Vegas coming in. Welcome back to the Ad Coaches Podcast in segment 3. WNBA on the court, WNBA off the court, and yes, you're going to hear about a lot of Vegas in this. So the WNBA All-Star Game will be held at the Las Vegas Michelob Ultra Arena on July 15th. Prime time, 8:30 p.m. on ABC. The Connecticut Suns, Alyssa Thomas, Alela Dana from the Mystics, the Liberties, Courtney Vandersloot, Minnesota Lynx, Nafisia Collier are part of the reserves that were chosen by the league. We talked about the 10 starting All-Stars. One, my colleague, Mike Francis, does not like that the WNBA All-Star Game is on a Saturday night. He wants it more in a primetime spot during the week or something like that. Will, what do you think about the All-Star Game being on a Saturday night in Vegas?
I said the same thing. I'm a family man. Like Saturday, we out. We going for fireworks. We're going to restaurants. We're going to parks, beaches. Man, that was perfect for like a Wednesday or Thursday. Woo! I am watching that for sure. I'm sitting down. I had a long day of work. Sit down. I'll watch. Man, I'm watching golf in the afternoon. I'm watching golf at night. I need something. Put on the WNBA All-Star Game.
Okay. Mike King, what do you think about the timing of the WNBA All-Star Game? You're a famous girls basketball coach in your own right. So what are you thinking about that?
Yeah, we had one win last year. It's exciting. I mean, when are people going to be watching? I get the Wednesday, but like you sell Saturday. That's from a business perspective, you want to do the Saturday, Sunday night. So I'm not mad at him.
Okay. And Robert, what do you think, sir?
Feels like a missed opportunity to me. Either Friday night or Sunday night would make more sense. If you got to do it on a weekend, I'd do one of the other. Because I mean, and like Will said, there ain't a whole lot on TV right now unless you're a baseball fan. And yeah, that's all that's on. So you're going to put that on a Saturday night when people are out, people are doing stuff. It feels like a missed opportunity, especially because I think people poo-poo the NBA, and man, when you watch them, they can play. They can just flat out play.
Yeah. All right. So the Mystics, this is on the court. Elena Delle Donne suffered an ankle injury last week when they played the Atlanta Dream. The team's going to reevaluate her over the weekend. We're in a quandary because you want your best at their best for the All-Star Game to showcase that, but you also have a shortened season, and she has a history of injury. Will, what do you think? How do you handle Elena Delle Donne's injury, sir? Because you have an obligation to your team and an obligation to the league.
Get creative. I would keep her off, but I would also get on correspondent. Do a mic, maybe a little commentating, do a little on court something, talking to the players. Hey, we're talking to we're talking to Miss Delle Donne. Let's talk about this player. Hey, I'm here to talk to you about this. Keep her part of the game, but also celebrate her all-starness. You know what I'm saying? I think that should be done. It's different. It's different. Obviously it's not something. Obviously, if LeBron got hurt, he's not going picking up a mic, but that could work for her. But it sucks. As a fan of the game who wants to go and teach and say this is a great game and the women kill. it's unfortunate, but there's way to incorporate her to not keep her hurt, but still keep the energy going. So I think make her a correspondent and do all kinds of stuff walking around. That'd be fun.
Okay, we'll see if she plays. There is some time to heal an ankle, but yeah, I'm very mindful of that. So off the court, they're building a dynasty in Vegas. Uh, Fellas, two-time WNBA MVP Aja Wilson signed a 2-year contract extension last week for less money, which allows Vegas to keep their players. You've got Kelsey Plum there, you got Jackie Young there, you got Chelsea Gray there. You also have Candace Parker on a 1-year deal. Vegas is killing it right now, and they're killing everybody. Robert, as an administrator who's done the hiring practices piece, tell me what you think about what Vegas is doing in terms of sustaining their player roster.
Well, I mean, they obviously have a plan, and they're doing a really good job of sticking to it. I think that, anytime you can keep people around, that says something about the culture of what you're building, right? Especially if they're willing to take less money to do it. If that says something about people want to be there and people want to be a part of what you're doing. I don't know. I've only seen Vegas once this year, but that they got it, they're rolling. So I'm of a mind, hey, let's keep this rolling as long as we can. We already talked when I came in, Will was talking about Golden State, just running it back. Vegas going to keep running this back as long as they can.
Yeah, and one of the things that I think is important for the league is to have a signature team that everybody can either love or everybody can hate. And when Vegas has those players and they're beating everybody badly, I'm of the notion that's good for the game. Last week they played Money in the Bank. There was a 3-year storyline with Roman Reigns dominating. So when he finally took a pinfall loss, the roof exploded on the place. If Vegas can win title after title, you're building up who can beat Vegas. Yeah, that's Money in the Bank right there, partner bud. Mike, I want to talk to you about the coaching change in Chicago. Chicago Sky general manager and head coach James Wade is leaving the WNBA for the Toronto Raptors. What do you think about that move for the WNBA? They just lost a GM and a head coach to the Raptors in the middle of their season. How would you take that in terms of their thoughts and opinions on the WNBA?
So I think that would be the positive would be when you're selling your coaching jobs. This is a breeding ground if you want to get an NBA job one day. So it'll help you potentially go to the college ranks, find good potential coaches to come to the WNBA who can make something there. And if they want, they can stay. And if they get a chance to go to the NBA, they can go to the NBA. So it's from that perspective, it could help them get higher quality people in for a pipeline. The negative is you're losing people, potentially good people. But again, if this just becomes like a cycle, that's fine. You find the next person, bring them in.
All right, because I'm rooting for Becky Hammond to replace Popovich in San Antonio. I am openly rooting for that. All right, WNBA top 4. The Aces are 1, and that's going to be a clear one. Connecticut Sun are 2, and Liberty 3. Mystics are 4. In the middle 4, the Wings are 5. The Sky is 6. LA Sparks are 7, and the Atlanta Dream are 8. And then the bottom, the Minnesota Lynx are 9. The Indiana Fever are 10, but Aaliyah Boston's getting them better. The Seattle Storm's 11, and shockingly to me, not that they're not playing well, but they're last. Phoenix Mercury is 12. Game of the week, Friday, July 7th. Vegas is playing Dallas. And Saturday, July 8th, Seattle is playing New York. So as we wrap up this week, it's been a big week. Mike, any final takeaways from the world of basketball this week? Any final thoughts?
I would just say, as we're going through the WNBA order, this seems like this upcoming draft after this season will be probably the most interesting WNBA draft ever. And part of that's NIL and what that did to let people know more about some of the players. But there's like 3 legit names. I don't know if I have 3 legit names for men's college basketball for next year that I could think of off the top of my head. But WNBA, I got 3 Bukers and
Paige can come
Clark.
out, Angel can come out, Clark
Man,
can
Angel.
come out.
She could stay healthy.
That's
I wish
3. If they come out, that's 3 like big.
And I
big
think AZ can come out next year too. AZ Fudd, I think she can come out too.
nice.
And don't forget Haley Van Lith.
Oh, and didn't she go into LSU from Louisville?
Yeah.
So the
All right.
WNBA better do a good job of selling this draft, because this draft potentially is a game changer, not just for that one, that one TV broadcast, but for the next couple seasons. So
And then they got to stay in the league because
Yeah.
number 1 picks are getting cut.
They could do a lot this year if they do it right. So they need to make sure they're selling it right. They got to get some WWE people there and get these storylines going. And this is their year. This is legitimately the year that they could really turn this around with this draft.
All right. Will, big week. Any final thoughts, sir?
I'm waiting for Summer League start.
Summer League starts
Yeah.
next week, sir.
Yeah, I'm ready for that. I know we're not going to get a lot of Wemby, but I want to see a couple other guys, see how they're doing. And then, it's also basketball. I just love watching it. So I'm just happy, excited it's back already.
And Robert, any final thoughts this week on the world of basketball, sir?
I'm with Will. I'm ready for Summer League to start. The dog days of summer, watching baseball. And I love baseball, but I need some basketball.
Yeah.
All right. So on behalf of my tag team partner, Coach Mike Francis, and our cavalcade of stars, I'm Dr. Keith Adams, saying thank you for listening and or watching the Eye Coaches podcast, and we'll see you on the sidelines. Till next time, take care.
The Eye Coaches podcast is sponsored by the CKA Save Project. The CKA Save Project is an industry leader in providing student-athlete academic and athletic support. From assessing student-athletes' academic and athletic skills, to measuring and monitoring student-athlete academic progress, to improving student-athlete time management and organizational skills, the CKA Save Project provides wraparound services for student-athletes from middle school through college. For more information, visit us on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org or schedule a free consultation with Dr. Keith Adams by emailing cka@ckasaveproject.org. We hope you enjoyed today's show. The Odd Coaches podcast drops new episodes every Tuesday through Friday on most weeks. Make sure you subscribe to the Odd Coaches podcast on Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Spotify, and YouTube. Follow the Odd Coaches podcast on Twitter and Instagram at Odd Coaches. Follow Dr. Adams on Twitter and Instagram at CKA Save Project. In addition, follow Coach Mike Francis on Twitter and Instagram at Coach Franchise, spelled Coach FRANCHIZE. For more information about the CKA Save Project, please visit them on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org. See you next time on the Odd Coaches Podcast.